Hey, Mama. Can you hear me? All right. Rel, thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, bet. Welcome to episode 71 of the Positive Impact Podcast, where we talk about all topics relevant to the game I love. I'm your host, Terrell Dozier, and tonight's guest, we go way, way back, way back. We are one director, Mr. Terrell Myers. Yo,
You hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on with you?
I can't complain. Friday night, you know.
Still looking young,
Oh,
and
man.
vibrant.
I mean, that's that good old Poland Springs, man. A little water in your system.
Can you get me 20 tonight if I needed you to though?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just watching the games like I could still get 20. I can't guard nobody, but I never
Right. Never could, man.
Never good. What's different?
Oh man, yo, it's good to see you, dog. You don't even know, man. So what's been going on, man? Tell me how you getting along during this pandemic, man. Talk to me.
Slow motion. I mean, slow motion, man. Just trying to take, every day as it comes. Not try to look too forward ahead. Definitely trying not to look back.
Right.
But just trying to take it one day at a time and just finding inspiration in things that I read, inspiration in things that I see. Seeing basketball being played again, seeing football, just knowing that we're heading towards the right direction is just giving me, some good energy.
No doubt. No doubt. So let's jump right into it. Let's go back. Take me back to New Haven. But we ain't even gonna talk about the hardwood. I want you to take me on the diamond first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so this is personal. Like, so we ain't even gonna act like I don't know. Before I get to basketball, talk to me about baseball, Rel.
Yeah, baseball, Rel, was cold. Baseball, Rel. I mean, baseball was my first love. My dad had used to have a lot of baseball equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked it up and just like anything else, I've just always had this drive to be good at whatever I did. So not a lot of, I didn't have a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I was my trainer. I threw some chalk on the wall and I threw the ball at the wall every day until I mastered it and became pretty good. We were serious about it. We had a whole league, paper, stats. After school, we was out there playing. So baseball was my first love. And then as I got older, there's a few things. I got older, I realized it was real hot. I didn't like the sun that much. So it was real hot. And then I tried out for my high school team. They had me penciled in, right? And I got up there, and there was a 6'7" pitcher named Scott Burrell. Yes, he threw a fastball at about 99 miles an hour. That was the last time I've ever played baseball.
That sound like my baseball experience. I was good up until 8th grade, and dude threw a pitch at my head, and I fell in the dirt. And the ump said, "Strike." I was like, "What?" He threw it at my head. That's the first curveball I ever seen. I was like, "Nah, man. If I can't time it, I'm not playing no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
now that's the same thing as my baseball experience. So, you know, you got into basketball, man. Like, so tell me how you developed your skills, man. We know you had a great career at Hill House, but talk about the time where you started taking it up and then started falling in love with it and how it grew to the player that you became at Hill House.
Another, like, same thing. It just was I was driven to be good at whatever I did. You know, it's funny, and it goes back to these stories and like these nuggets that you get. And then my dad would always tell me, look, I don't care what you do. Like, if you're gonna be a garbage man, be the best. Like, put everything into what you do and what you love. So same thing. No trainer. You see where I'm gonna keep going. That's gonna be my thing. No trainer. I just was out there, and being in Connecticut, it snowed a lot at that time. So even in the snow, I would go take cardboard boxes, wood, whatever I could to cover the court. So when the snow ended, I could move the boxes and work on my handle.
Right.
So I just was driven to be good. Didn't know how good I was going to be. My goal wasn't to be a professional. I just wanted to be really good and feel good about what I was doing. Had a lot of mentors that would push me hard. We'd be in the park all day. And, you know, Terrell Myers, who ended up playing for the Sixers for a little bit, I would play, and he would be like, I'm like, yo, I'm done. He's like, no, you're not. Let's go run these stairs. And I'm like, I just played for 6 hours out in the sun. He's like, you said you wanted to be good.
Right.
This is what people that are good do. So I would have to ride my bike to the field and then run the steps until it got dark.
Right.
But that was my mentor. That was my guy. You know, this is what you need to be good. And wasn't very good. I was small. You know, used to call me Baby Smurf. I was 5'4", 98 pounds going into high school. And then I got taller. It was a commercial back in the days, like milk does your body good. So I used to drink mad milk with everything. milk. And then I grew. I got 6'1", real slim. And then I just remember going into I didn't play varsity until my junior year in high school because we were pretty good. So I didn't even play. Averaged about 12 points. And going into my senior year, this is a story. It's always stories.
Right.
So,
Got you.
And it's my backcourt teammate who was first team All-State. We're same year. We go out in the summer, and right before that, the park is flooded. Like New Haven at the time, that was the spot to be to play ball. So we go out there, and then my older cousin Terrell says, yo, my little cousin Rel is one of the nicest in the city. So my backcourt partner was like, brother was like, nah, no, he's not. My brother better. I wasn't for the confrontation, you know. Right. So they was like, play one-on-one for money. I said, nah, that's not what I do. So to that day, it looked like, oh, he didn't want it.
Yeah, you were sick. You were
right.
shook. Okay.
So all that did was motivated me. So nobody saw me. Like, I didn't go back to the park. I was on some Rocky, running the hills with my Timbs on, just crazy working out, just hard, just working out, jumping rope, doing everything. And then the senior year comes, coach is like, yo, we playing fall league. I'm like, I'm not playing. I said, you'll see me when the season starts.
Okay.
Season start, first game of the season, I dropped 46. And that's when I believed in working out. I went from averaging 12, 13 to my first high school game, you know, 6, 7 months later, I dropped 46 because I worked on my craft. So that's the Hill House, you know, the Hill House story.
Okay. So we go on to be All-State that year. Going to have an All-State high school career. And then the next year you pop up at St. Thomas More. What's the backstory of you going, instead of going straight to college, going to St. Thomas More? And let me shout out my man Austin Tillman. I see Josh. I see Josh Sharkey got on here too, man.
Sharkey up here? Okay.
Yeah, Sharkey got up on here, man. So go ahead, man. Tell me the story, like why we didn't go straight to college, but we went to St. Thomas More instead.
Wasn't ready. You know, was a high school coach, wasn't ready. He let us run up and down the court. And I felt like I was just getting good and I was better. And there was a guy in my neighborhood that went to a prep school. Nobody knew what this was.
Right.
Nobody. Like extra year, like, oh, you do an extra year, you a dummy. Like you can't finish high school. So I'm like, no. My grandfather took me down to St. Thomas More. Right? First of all, he bought me a car when I graduated, a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Okay.
Right? $5,000. He bought me the car. He was like, yo, this is all I got for college. That's it. So either you're going to go to college or I don't have no money for this prep school. So I walked into St. Thomas More with Coach Quinn. My grandfather's like, yo, it's on you. So I sold that car back and I took the $5,000 that from that car and I had to put that down and bet on me. I literally took the $5,000 in cash. Imagine that, 18 years old, and bet on me. And when I did it, I had University of New Haven, Franklin Pierce, and they were like, what are you doing? You're not good enough. It was like, you're not good enough. Like, why would you waste your time? Like, all they're going to do is recruit over you. And I'm like, well, I'm going to bet on me. And guess what, coach? And that's the thing. I had no guy. I'm talking to the coach. I said, coach, I said, if I don't go, I said, guess what? If I don't and I'm not good enough, y'all still going to be here. So I'm going to be good enough for y'all after this year. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to bet on me. And then when I went there, it was, oh my God, that was a rude awakening. Rude. You walk in there, you got 20 dudes that can hoop.
Right.
20. And everybody there is first team all state. So I come in there with my New Haven flamboyant, you know, I got one black shoe, one white shoe. Coach Quinn looks at me and is like, yo, get the hell off my court, money. And I'm like, what? He was like, you here to play basketball or you here to model? And he ain't let me play for the whole week. And all the schools that I wanted to go to were in the building.
Yeah. Big
John Thompson, Dean Smith, all these people I seen on TV is where I could touch them. And that coach made me sit. Coach Quinn made me sit for the first week of school.
Gotta respect it, man. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it.
And I cried every day. Every day.
Nah, no question. So what was the turning point for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the turning point for you there, right? So you come in there, and it's funny that you said the University of New Haven because I was at St. Thomas More the year before you, and the reason why I got to St. Thomas More was because of the University of New Haven. So, you know, like, so once you got there, you know, you were looked at as a Division II player, even though you was first team All-State in the state of Connecticut. So when was the point then, right? Because you done sold the Volkswagen, you bet on yourself. What was there a moment where you felt like, there it is, I just won the bet, like, you know what I mean? Or did it happen over time? Like, was there one moment or it was just as time went along?
I struggled, bro. I can't even make it seem like I came and it was a moment. Like, man, the game was so fast and everybody was so good. And, you know, in high school, you can blow by your man and drop it off for a layup. Yeah. I didn't learn about help defense and help the helper. So I'm dropping it off and they just stealing it. They trapping me and they taking the ball. And I'm just like, wow, I'm not strong enough. So I just put time in. I just kept working. I saw myself getting better. And coach, even though he was hard on me, he believed in me. Like, he was hard. I got kicked out of practice a lot. So all y'all, any of y'all that I kicked out of practice, understand I was kicked out of practice too. So I get it. I got kicked out of practice a lot. And I remember I'm sitting there. We about to play MIT. They got Catino Mobley, Sean Colson, Luther Clay, they top 10 dudes, number 1 in the country. And I'm literally like, I'm sitting right here. And I'm like, yo, like, I started getting better. I went from, you know, high school, I was good. I averaged 30 points a game in high school. So I went from averaging 30 to averaging like 8.
Yes.
Couldn't make a shot. Like, it was hard. I had to pick up full court. So it's a different game. So I go with like probably about 12 games remaining. And I started to get it, right? I started to get it. So we're playing MIT. I'm looking. Back then, we had the magazines. We couldn't just go on Twitter to see who was nice.
Yeah, that's Street and Smith.
Yeah, we had the Street and Smith. So I see Catino Mobley going to Rhode Island, Sean Colson going to Rhode Island. And I don't really got nothing. Like, I didn't got some calls here and there. And this is the true story. I'm sitting at my desk, and looking at this magazine, and I'm like, yo, like I literally bet on me, like, and I just got this, yo. It was one of the wildest moments ever. Like my eyes start watering, and I'm just like, yo, it's now another, like this is it. And I go in and I cooked. It wasn't even me playing. Right. I don't know who it was. First, come down, I hit in and out, cross, left hand layup. I ain't never do that. Boom. I'm like, yo, and I'm cooking. And then, you know, from there, I got offers. But the funny thing, to go back, and this is why I love Coach Quinn, right after that, right? So now I'm blowing up, but these people are calling. So the next day, Big John Thompson comes into the office. I'm like, I'm calling home, like, yo, this is it. Like, I'm going to Georgetown. Good job. I'm nice now. Man, I go in there, coach leave, and back then they used to bring you in the office to talk to your high school coach. It wasn't all this weird stuff. Mm-hmm. They came to your house or your coach, and you sat down and had a conversation. So Big John comes, he leaves. So after he leaves, I go, Coach Quinn, yo. You know, I mean, I think I'm ready to do this. He looked at me and was like, Money, you ain't good enough to go there. I was like, what? He was like, you just had a good day. I was like, oh, man. Just broke my little spirit.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Next year, guess who went to Georgetown?
Allen Iverson.
Yes, sir. I would have been a nice water boy.
You sure would have.
But then it's like, you're not good enough to go there, but yo, you gotta come babysit tonight at 8:00. Like, you got me crying. 2 hours later, you want me to come watch your kids?
Yeah, that's it. And we did that. And we did that. You understand?
That's what it was.
Most honest dude, man, like told us what it is. There wasn't no hate about not going to Georgetown. It's like, I'm gonna put you at the level where you're gonna shine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't play Division I basketball. I'm going to junior college just so I can play Division I. No, you're not. You're gonna go to play Division II for 4 years and you're gonna have a great career. And you ain't question it. Like, you didn't question it. You know what I'm saying? So you wound up picking St. Joe's. Why St. Joe's?
Hometown kid, and the thing is, it was different. Like again, and we're gonna get on this. It was no guys. Mm-hmm. I went up to St. Joe's, and it was in my mind. I made my decision, but my decision was made on. I had some family in Philly. Mm-hmm. I felt like St. Joe's was on the way up, right? St. Joe's didn't have any other sports, so basketball was the program. There was no other sports that we had to compete with. I was only a train ride away from home. You know, I'm like, I can jump on the train if I needed to. Only thing that almost didn't keep me from St. Joe's, and I understand these kids, I almost didn't go to St. Joe's because they wore Converse. I'm like, yo, what y'all wear? They was like Converse. I'm like, oh, man, yo. And then they changed up the next year. But I just thought it was a good level that I could play at, and it was a small school. I know if I would have went to a big school, I would have got lost in the classroom. I needed my teachers to know my name. I needed to know their names. I needed to knock on their doors for help. So I knew who I was as a kid, and I knew like that gave me the best chance to be successful.
Right. So, I mean, you did it. You got on the court. I remember us sitting at college watching you on the court, NCAA tournament, out the pit, out in Salt Lake City and down in New Mexico, and you know, here you are just out there just balling, man. Like sum up your college experience for me, man. Like, what was it like the highs and the lows of that?
Yeah, it was hard. Yo, it was hard, man. Like, and that's why I do what I do. Like, nobody told me. When we got out, and it was different. Like, these kids don't understand. You remember what the shot clock was? Mm-hmm. Was it 45 seconds?
It was 45 seconds.
We had to stay in our defensive stance for 45 seconds. Mm-hmm. So I go in, the season started in Philly. It's cold in October. It was cold. So we on the track at 5 a.m. I'm like, what? Nobody told me that this was part of the requirements. 5 a.m. and then then you got the lifting, and then you got class all day, then you got practice, and then you got study hall. I'm like, yo, this was hard. But so you gotta love it. And for me, I just worked at it. I worked at it. I was a good player. The coach didn't play me early. Like, I didn't play. Like, for 9 games, I don't play. I'm just sitting there. And I'm calling home like, yo, Mom, I'm practicing. Yo, I'm playing as hard as I've ever played in my life. Like, I'm playing hard. And the coach would come in like, yo, you're not playing hard. I'm like, if I play any harder,
right,
I'm going to die. Like, I'm literally going to die. So one week, I just was like, look, this is the moment of truth. Either I'm going to continue to play basketball or I'm going to quit.
Right.
Because this is crazy. So I went in and I just was crazy. I'm diving on people, knocking people around, karate kicking. I'm doing whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, now you get it. Like, now you get it. I literally went in the locker room and fell asleep. Like, right after practice. Because we used to practice 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Fell right to sleep. And then he comes in, he's like, that's playing hard. Welcome to college basketball. Next game he puts me in. First game, I get like 12. And I was in the rotation, and I felt like I belonged. But for us, it was a lot of fun, man. I had some great teammates, man. We just had a blast. And then Martelli, my coach my first 2 year, Griffin, was really tough. He was really, really tough, and I loved him for that because he made me realize there's nothing I can't do. There's nothing I can't do. You play for John Griffin, you could do anything. So he was tough, and then Martelli came with a new flavor. Yeah. His flavor, to sum up Martelli at the time, longtime assistant at St. Joe's, we're playing at LaSalle in the first round of the Atlantic 10 tournament. Scores tight, probably about 15 seconds. They run a play. They kick it to me. I shoot if you know my game, I'm shooting. Like, I shoot a 24-foot 3 before Steph Curry. That joint hit nothing. Air ball. He calls a timeout. I'm like, oh my God. Like, he gonna give it to me. Yeah. Martelli looked at me and was like, yo, next time take a step into your area code. Let's go get this stop. What? So that's what it was. Yeah. It was just a lot of fun, man. Yeah. And we had some good teammates. I don't remember, and we had so many games. I played so many basketball games. I can't remember all of them. But the overall feeling was just a lot of fun playing all over the country, right, doing something you love.
Nah, I get you on that. So the most important thing, you graduate, you know what I'm saying? College degree, which, that's the most important thing to me. We can talk about basketball all day and the experiences and the places that we've been, but as long as that story ends with you graduated, I'm okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you get the opportunity, and let's take it back to, like, I was just playing, man, and I came along slow, and you know what I mean? But now you get the opportunity to go play across the waters and actually earn a check for playing. Talk about the experience, you know what I mean? Like, you're a Connecticut kid, man, and now you're traveling to all these different countries. You got a passport that's getting stamped constantly, you know what I mean? Like, talk about that experience, because that's it's an experience. People talk about NBA, but a lot of people don't get a chance to play professionally, period.
My first 5 years, I was in England, so it wasn't hard. I adapted pretty easy. They spoke the language. We had 5 or 6 Americans on the team, so that wasn't as difficult. American coach. All right, it's basketball, and I didn't get paid a lot of money. I didn't get paid a lot of money, but I'm gonna tell you what. When that check came through, yo, you just want to cry. Yeah. Because it's like, somebody paying me to do this. Somebody paying me something that I would do every day for free. And that makes no sense. Like, to me, I was like, this is not fair. I felt like I was robbing people. Right? Because it's something I love so much. Played in England, ended up getting pretty good. Like, I got pretty good in England. Was player of the year. Supposed funny. So I had some really good coaches. Nick Nurse was over there at the time, and that was one of our rivals. And then Chris Finch, who's he just started coach. He's a associate head coach of the Raptors now with Nick Nurse. So they had a battle in England like no other. And understand, we were playing in front of 18,000 people sometimes. So we're playing, and I tell Chris Finch, like one of the best. I'm surprised he's not an NBA head coach. One of the best coaches I've ever had. So we're playing. I'm like, Chris, and you know me, a little confident. I'm confident in my game. I'm like, Chris, man, I can't keep playing the 2, man. I'm like, I'm bored. Like scoring 30 every night is boring. Like I need a challenge. Like I'm like this. He's like, all right, I'm gonna move you to the point. So he moves me to the point. So now, people, they start popping off at the mouth. Every time they pop off, I'm in my bag. Shoot, shoot. He calls timeout. I'm like, what? Like I just hit him with it. He's like, nah. Run the show. Don't be the show. You said you wanted to be the point. So every time somebody comes at you, you're gonna do your thing, right? And classic story about Chris Finch. We're playing. I'm one of the first players in England to have a shoe contract. I'm sponsored by Under Armour. I got AM1. I got 100 pair of AM1s in my house. I think I'm that dude. I'm on the cereal box. You know what I mean? So the AM1 reps come, and I'm cooking. I'm out there. It's like I'm playing the 2 today. So I'm in my bag. I think I had like 40-something, 46. So I'm like, a little light 46, right? In between, though, I'm tying my sneaker, right? During the game, he yelling at me. I'm like, yo, these are fresh. Like let me tie my sneaker. Dude, get a layup. Next day, we watch video. He puts 46 on the board. I'm like, oh, I'm leaning back. You know how that? I'm leaning back like, oh, this whole video we're going to watch all these buckets. He looks at me and goes, 46, you selfish motherfucker. That's 46 teammates that you missed. And we watched 46 times that I didn't kick the ball to one of my teammates. That was the video. That's coaching. It was respect. He was right. He was right. So I learned a lot from him. Then I went on to Spain. Very lucky. I just like sum up my Spain career. Like I tell the kids all the time, I got lucky in Spain. Very tough league. Extremely tough league. I tell people all the time, they're like, and I don't talk to the players about when I played a lot. I don't really bring that up. But I tell them to sum up my career in Spain or the league or level, Goran Dragic was my backup. That's why I tell them. Goran Dragic was my backup. And then I joke and say, I shot 61% from the 3-point line. So just to sum it up, so y'all can make what you want out of it. And we still had Louis Scola, Tiago Splitter, Jose Calderon, all them dudes. So that's the league I'm in. Yeah. Manu Ginobili. So I sum it up, but it never changed. It started from that little kid in New Haven, man, that I'm going to work. Right. I'm going to work. It ain't no other way. I'm going to work because I want, there's no better feeling to put the work in and then see what you've been doing come to fruition. Or you put the work in and when that ball goes up and that the dude that's guarding you already know that they ain't got a shot. Right. But it don't start to work.
No doubt. So we got to transition to after basketball. Talk to me about Connecticut skills. Talk to me about East Coast elite. Woo! Take me there.
Man, they don't understand the grind. Real quick, and say, we out there at the plateau in Philly. Me and my man Shawan, we like, yo, we about to do AAU. Like, let's do it. We don't know nothing about AAU, and part it's your fault. Just let you know. You know it's your fault. We don't know nothing about AAU. So we get a Connecticut skills. We grinding. We taking we cutting up paper, putting them on Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's. We got tryouts. We know nothing. We got lucky. We got a huge sponsor. Our team was not very good. Bunch of local kids. My brothers was on the team. And we just traveling. We just having a good time. We don't know. We go out to Vegas, and I see you. And you had what you had? Cross? What was it?
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast. Yeah, the day was dope. Yeah, coast to coast. And we go out there, and I ain't gonna lie, we have no clue about the schedule.
Right.
We don't know where to go. We don't know no gyms. Yeah. Nothing. You pulled out the thing. It was like, yo, y'all got to be here at this time. Y'all, we just came in from the club.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, you got to do this. And then I saw, and that's when I got a chance to see, I think that was the Brandon Jennings and I saw Kimball Walker and
Derrick Rose was out there.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, oh, this is serious. Yeah. And then that turned in from Connecticut Skills to East Coast Elite, where we had the heavy wool uniforms and the cheap Adidas from East Bay. You know, the good times that came from that. Then I moved out to Delaware. Was at a little local gym after I retired. And I was like, you know, I took a year off, was decided if I was going to go back. And I walked in this gym and I saw some kids. Joe Brookenborough was in there. I saw AJ English. I'm like, whoa, Delaware coaching wasn't great out here, but I'm like, Delaware got some kids. Let me train them. Training those kids turned into 50-16s. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it turned into something bigger, man. But people don't understand. Like, although it turned into this 50-16, this monster and these deals and all that, we're still Connecticut Skills. We're still East Coast Elite. Like, it don't change. Yeah. The name changed, but who we are, the foundation of who we are has not changed. The people, we haven't changed. Just down to earth and trying to, you know, tell the parents and tell the parents the truth. No doubt about it. And you're a lot better with the schedule now than you were, for sure. For sure. for sure, you're a lot better with the schedule now. So, you know, obviously I know the grind. You know what I mean? Like, I was there for every step of the way. And, you know, kind of talk about what you learned every step of the way, because, right, like, you got Connecticut Skills, like, oh, we weren't a very good team, and then you get this We Are One juggernaut. Like, you know what I mean? We win the whole Under Armour thing, not once, but we won it twice. You know, like, we got top 10 kids. I got one and done kids in my program. So you go from, we weren't very good to, like, you got some heavy hitters on your team. So talk about the growth that and what you learned during that time throughout this whole AAU experience. I mean, I got to get a lot of credit to, like, the people we had involved, you know. So I had a lot of people that helped put that together. And I honestly learned at the time, I learned a lot from the parents. I learned a lot from the parents about scheduling. It was a young lady, Keisha Bond, Jalen Bond's mom, that was on my ass about what we're going to do, what we're going to eat. I'm like, Keisha, that's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. She's like, well, we need to know. You know, and that was one of our things. So I've learned that people's time is very important. And if you're going to do this thing and take it to the next level, you have to be more professional. You know, you have to give kids an itinerary. All right. You have to let the parents know ahead so they can plan. You also have to find not only good kids, but good families. You got to find people. And when I say good family, I just mean with people that support their kids. And the most important part of this, where we got good, is two things. I brought 2 kids out with an EYBL team, right? I let them go play because they wanted to see what it was, right? And they called me after I think they played one weekend, and I let them go back out there. They played another weekend. And they were like, Coach Rell, they're not good. I was like, I tried to tell you that. I'm like, don't get caught up. That's when we went to the next level, when our kids start to realize that all of you are the same, no matter what uniform you put on. Like, some got more hype, some get more write-ups. Once we learned that was important, and then we also learned that being part of something is more important than what you wear. Mm-hmm. So being part of the We Are One family and the culture that we built was more important than what we wore on our feet or our backs. Mm-hmm. So we had a strong culture of just unity and family and telling kids the truth. And that's when we took the next step, because what you realize that whatever level you're in, people want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of something good that makes them feel good. Mm-hmm. And if you continue to do that, people will come. So that's what we did. We just made sure we have really good, good coaches that had the same mission, not always seeing alike, but the same mission is why you do this. And for me, I mean, if you're not doing it for the kids, we're not getting along. Mm-hmm. We're not getting along. There's no other way to put it. We're not getting along. If you have an ulterior motive, we will not get along. And it's that simple.
That's that simple. Nah, no question about it. And so, the one thing that I love, and watching you grow in this game is that your ability to keep growing, right? So it's like we're just doing the AAU program. Now I'm like director of this, like I said, this juggernaut, and not only are you doing the basketball side, but it's also like I'm networking, right? Which we know is huge, right? It's not always about what you know, it's who you know. So we've done that. And now, during this time, with this pandemic, this social injustice in our country, this big election that we just had, you got yourself involved outside of basketball. So we talk about it a lot. Like, you're not going to play basketball forever. You're not going to coach basketball forever. Like, we still have to grow as Black men in this country, right? And we still have to set the example, right? Like, you're the example. You're the face of the We Are One program. So you have to set an example while they're playing for you, after they're done playing for you. So now you join this group, this ABIS group, the Advancement of Blacks in Sports. And I think that's super huge. I'm proud of you for being a part of that. So explain to my viewers who don't know what ABIS is, talk about the organization and what its goals are.
Right. So ABIS is Advancement of Blacks in Sports, like you said. And we're basically just concentrating right now on social reform and giving just young Black athletes a voice and a place where they feel like they're supported. We have so many initiatives. It's huge. It's and we talked about this a little bit. We're so behind the eight ball. We're so behind. You don't know where to start. So when the George Floyd thing happened, one of my lifelong missions, I don't know if I'll ever see it, but one of my lifelong missions is to see the number one recruiting class go to an HBCU. Right? So it's not a lot of places, right, where young Black athletes have power. Right? It's not a lot of places, but we do have power in our ability. Right? So we have this thing where I say to people, we continue to give away the oil. Mm-hmm. We have the oil. The oil is the Black bodies, right? But if you continue, and not saying if there's other coaches that you could play for, but if you continue to give that away, mm-hmm. you have no power. Mm-hmm. You let somebody come into your town, your state, your country, and siphon oil from you, you always gonna be working for them. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. And then the landscape of basketball or college athletics would change if that happened. If the number one recruiting class went to Howard University, it changes forever. Because it's not where you go. The kids think it's where you go. It's not. It's you. You have that, and trying, and I may never see it, but that's my mission for our kids to know that, or athletes to know that you have stopped settling. Stop settling. Stop going to college and get your bachelor's degree in sociology and communications and think that's it. No, that's a stepping stone. That's a stepping stone. And now things have changed so much where the athletes now don't speak out like they did before with Jim Brown and those guys and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the coaches don't speak out like they did before. Nolan Richardson, Big John Chaney. They don't stand for anything, right? So, and the reason why they don't, for the most part, is too much money, endorsements, etc. You're worried about your legacy and all these other things. Where the coaches, for the most part, like anything else, if you don't win, you don't have no power. It's that simple. So I saw that, and I had an opportunity, and I was blessed to be awarded the vice president of ABIS grassroots, and we're just getting started. It's so much work right now. I think it's hard. I want to get into this with the parents and the guys and that's the hard part of trying to do this work. You have to fight through that. You have to fight through the parents and the guys. You get the parents, the guys, the handlers. That's the hard part. Because you can't take somebody a place you never been. Like how you gonna take somebody a place you never? You don't know what it feels like to be a pro. Right. You have no clue. No clue. But you gonna tell somebody, and I get these calls all the time. Yo, bro, I got a pro. It's disrespectful to call me and say that. It's like, oh yeah, all right. How do you know he's a pro? Right. So that's my mission, bro. We advancing the blacks in sports. You're gonna start hearing it more and more. We got some great people. Dawn Staley's on the board. Dawn Staley from South Carolina. Nikki Vargas from LSU. We got a lot of supporters. Ben Crump, who I happened to be out in Houston with 2 weekends ago. So I spent the weekend with him. He's all about the cause. Leonard Hamilton. So we got the right people in play. Now it's time to build this up and continue to grow this. But we have to find people with like-minded people to spread that message that you have someone that supports you. You are in charge of your name, image, and likeness. You have the right to go and earn money through your hard work. That the system that we've been used to is so antiquated that we think it's okay. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not okay. So we just have to get people to start understanding that the system it's not okay. Right. And try to make change. It won't be easy. Right. I mean, it won't be easy. Getting rid of the SATs and ACTs, that's $1 billion business. Who wants to they're not giving that up easy. So it's a huge fight, man. But I think it starts with the grassroots. It starts with the grassroots. And we got to start there with these babies.
Right. Nah, for sure. So as we get ready to wrap this thing up, man, I want to hit you with a couple of quick hitters real quick. So I want to start with toughest opponent.
As a player or as a coach?
As a player first.
Oh, my man, that's an easy one. Well, it's two.
Well, give them
two. Like two different scenarios. The toughest that I ever played, like man-to-man, one-on-one, face-to-face, was Kobe Bryant. Okay. Hands down. Never was one of the scariest people. Scary, not tough, scary. And the toughest I've ever played in a game, I only call home about 2 people ever I played against. Yeah. Kobe Bryant and Manu Ginobili. Them were the 2 toughest I've ever matched up against and felt like I was in middle school.
Toughest player you coached against?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Say who had the best game. And it's bad because he's not a really good NBA player now, but he killed us. And that was Markelle Fultz.
I was there for that.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Yeah, I was there.
That was bad. He hit my man with the ooh-wee.
Yeah.
And then he fell to his knees and he looked at him and then shot the 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say him or Josh Jackson was my
Josh Jackson.
Yeah,
we also Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards was there. Anthony Edwards was different too.
Yeah, he's tough.
He was different.
Tough. Super tough. Dinner at your house. Dinner at your house. I'm gonna give you 5 individuals that you want to have there, dead or alive, at that dinner to gain knowledge from.
It'll definitely be Jim Brown.
Okay, Jim Brown.
I would definitely be my man Malcolm X.
Okay.
No doubt would be Malcolm. Gandhi.
Okay.
I would definitely Obama.
I get that a lot. One more.
I mean, you gotta have some entertainment. So my man up there, I'm gonna say Joe Buckenborough gotta be there. He gonna keep the party. Joe Buckenborough gonna keep everybody laughing.
Oh man, nah, that's a good one. So last question, and I always make this the last question, is when it's all said and done, no more coaching, no more anything, just Terrell Myers sitting on a beach somewhere with a fishing, in the ocean with a fishing pole. How does Terrell Myers want to be remembered?
Just somebody that cared about people. You know what I mean? Really cared about the kids, man. Like for me, like I said, one of the lifelong missions is to have that recruiting class, but people don't understand. I get a lot of joy out of all the relationship we have with Quinn, all the players that have come through our program, the Alsons, the Bens, the Derricks, the Tyler Coles, the Corey Crawfords, all these guys, like for me, it's for them to be on that boat or have my fishing pole. Like I want them to be able to come and visit me with their kids. Like people think it's all about the NBA and it's no. I'm just as proud of those kids that are married with kids, that are driving trucks or that are, accountants. Like it doesn't matter. So to have them, I want to be remembered as a guy that they can always come to. Always. Even when I'm out there with my boat and my fishing pole, that they can be there and they knew that I was always there to support them and I always gave back.
Nah, beautiful. I love it. I love that. Well, I appreciate you getting on here. I know you don't like to talk to a lot of people in front of the camera, but we go way back, man. You already know how I feel about you, dog, and I'm proud of everything that you've accomplished and everything that that you're continuing to do. And let's keep pushing this envelope, man. Let's keep crashing through ceilings, man, until we can't go no more.
No problem, man. I appreciate you when I blame you.
For all of this, right?
No problem, man.
I got
everybody
you, man.
That checked in, man.
I love you, man.
All right. Love you too.
All right. Later.
That type of